Hi guys, so the most requested video on my channel is probably a tutorial on how I make my videos. So I was in the middle of making my mini movie and I thought, why don't I make it at the same time but also teach you guys and show you guys how I make my stuff. So I'll be making a video but I'll also be working on my mini movie at the same time, so I'll be doing two things at the same time. So I've already got my screenshots for the section that I'm going to be teaching you or showing you how I make my videos, but for the purpose of me showing you how I do my screenshots, I'm going to be making a new scene, but I won't be using that one to show you how I add the text and then add it into the video after that. So the first thing that I do when I create any kind of scene or anything, I always go straight into finding the background. So what I do is I go into Pinterest. My Pinterest is CookLover44. Don't judge the name, I've had it since I was like 10 years old. So I go there and I have a special Pinterest, special board, of just backgrounds, and they're all sectioned off into like bedroom, school, theatre, literally anything you can probably think of, I probably have. And I update it once every few weeks because I like going back and having a look at backgrounds. I don't really use half of them, but yeah, so once I pick my background, I always look at the background and where the placing of the characters would be, because as you can see, I always keep my characters in the same place. I don't move the position of them because I like to imagine it when you create your video with your the Gacha Life background, you have your characters placed where you want them to be. So I feel it's easier to do like that, as you'll see later. So it doesn't mean that you have to keep moving the characters into the place that you want them to be once you're in your editing software. So sometimes they can move a bit or something like that, but if you do it like this, they just stay the same. Sorry, my voice has gone really deep because it's really late and I'm a bit tired. Anyway, so the second thing I do when I'm editing any of my videos, I write myself a script before my scene, and this is because I obviously don't use the Gacha Life text bubbles, so I can't just think, if I'm doing a long scene, like this one's pretty long, took me like 20 minutes to do the whole thing, so that's just screenshots. I don't have to look back on the thing and think, oh, what did I want them to say there, and it just gets really confusing. So I write myself a script. Sometimes I add little details like they blush or they move, and each line is a screenshot, so when I look back on the editing software, I know that each picture is in line and it matches up, meaning I don't ever get confused or anything like that. Another thing I think about, and I think is really important when you're making any kind of screenshot or scene, is to change the facial expressions and the poses quite irregularly if you can. Sometimes I know that you can't, but it just makes it like nicer to look at, instead of them just standing there with the same like pose of them standing there and their facial expressions only changing like when they open their mouths, and try to use different variations of mouths and eyes to express like what their character's trying to feel. And that's what I try and do, because it just makes it easier to look nicer to look at, and it's just a little detail that can up the quality of your videos. And I'm no expert, my videos are literally trash, but a lot of people ask me for tips and stuff, so I guess it's going to be a tutorial and tip video, because I'm just going to go through things I think personally look good when you're making a Gacha Life video. Even though I don't watch that much Gacha, but I just make it. But anyway, I will go into Ibispaint, and I hate this part of editing. It just really frustrates me because it's so tedious and I don't want to be doing this. But anyway, I press this and I import a picture, which you probably won't know how to do anyway, and then I find my screenshot, which is really far up because I did this like a long time ago. But once you've found it, it will load and you press original, so it's like the original width and everything, and then you press cancel, don't want any extra stuff. And then what we do is I use my magic wand and I press 3 times on all white spaces, and I just think, oh, this is great. Oh, there we go. I just think that it picks up more of the white outline that could have a form, that's not the word, could form when you put the background underneath, and just makes it look much cleaner compared to some people's edits where you can really see the white outline that they haven't taken off most of it. But that's just my personal preference. You can press it 10 times. It doesn't really matter unless until it starts taking like the outline of the actual gacha character off, and you don't want your character to have no outline. So I would recommend not doing it too many times, because then it will just ruin your picture and you have to start again, and no one wants to do that. So I think I've got everything. No, one more bit. Once I've done everything, let me check. Yeah, I go here and I make the background this colour, so when I rub out the background I can see what parts I've missed and what parts I need to continue rubbing out, and I deselect, and I always double check to see if there's any more white bits I've missed, because I hate looking back and editing and thinking, great, I missed that part. So once I've done that, I always rub the eraser down the side, like the edges, because there's always like this black line. I don't know if you guys could ever seen before, that comes with gacha pictures. I don't know why it does, but it's there, and you can sometimes see it through backgrounds. It just annoys me, so I get rid of it. And then I import my background, and conveniently it's the same size as the thing, but sometimes it can be smaller. But if you want to have this section, you can have just that section, but I personally want to have the whole thing, so just leave it like that. And I press cancel, and I drag this layer up so it becomes on top. And because in the scene it's not actually saying anything, I do a ... So I'll get the text tool, and I'll write his name, which is Finn, colon, and then ... and then my font is Arial Fett, if anyone's wondering, and I always have my size on 70. It's always been like that. And then I always have my stroke on 4, and my text is black and my stroke is white. No, I might put the other way around, but oh well. I think you can all see that with your eyes, but just in case you wanted to know for clarification. So I don't really have any like specific thing I do to place this. I'll just place it wherever I'm really feeling, to be honest. And then I go off the thing and I make it big by double tapping and just look to see if that's nice. And then I just kind of play around until I've kind of got a place that I like that it is, and that's pretty much fine. So yeah, that's kind of what I really do to create these individual screenshots. Okay, so if you want your character to be moving at any point in any of your thing, so in the screenshots I have before, this guy's the one that's moved. So you just get your character and you make him animated. So you just, it's not walking, but do the walking or running if you want them to run, doesn't really matter. And then I don't want him to look like this because that was from a different part, but just make him look normal, size him up to the biggest, so it doesn't really matter what size it is really. And then get the green screen, and then you just screen record that. I've already done that, so I don't need to do it again, but you just do that, then I'll show you how to make that into a moving thing later. Okay, so once I finished making all the screenshots for all my scenes of the mini movie or whatever I'm making at the time, I go into Kinemaster and I make a new project and do that. And then I always make sure that you press on the settings thing and editing, because it always does this weird thing that I don't like, makes the pictures move like in there and don't have them like filling the screen. So I also need to fill screen or thin screen, doesn't really matter either way, they do the same thing. And then I go into photos, and it was also handy to have a separate folder for your screenshots of the mini movie and whatever you're doing at the time. So I'm going to get my 2 pictures I need for the demonstrations. As you can see, they don't move or they stay the same. And then you can see how it just pops up there. So what I do is I go wherever I need to start walking and press layer, media, video. And I just need to find the one I have of him walking. So I think I did film, I hope. Yep, here. So let's wait for it to come from my iCloud. And then I will crop it so it doesn't have that weird black outline I was talking about earlier. And then I press chroma key and I press enable, and it just disappears. It takes away all the green stuff. So it does, as you can see, make his t-shirt a little bit see-through because it is green, but it doesn't really, you can't really tell by looking at it like a lot. So I wouldn't worry about it that much. Just make sure your character doesn't have like green hair or something. If they do, use a background that's like blue or something, because you can always change whatever colour you want to be taken away. So he walks like that. So what I do is I go to where he's here, I make him the same size. He's the wrong way round, I just realised that. So can I turn him round? Yeah. So I line him up. It doesn't really have to be perfect. I never really make it perfect, don't worry that much, but that's about right, I think. No, maybe a little bit smaller. I don't know, but that seems right to me. And then I drag it back so it doesn't clash with the actual picture, so he's not walking when he's actually standing still. And I size it to how long I actually want him to be walking for. The shorter you do it, the faster they'll walk, basically. And I press that key button in the corner, and I make one, and you put your, like, don't know what it's called, like the line at the beginning, and drag him off the screen, doesn't really matter where. And then at the end, actually, you do actually want to have him dragged out a little bit so you can see him. After you press on the key button again at the end, you just want to put him where he ends up. So he will, if you play it, he will slowly walk in, a bit dodgily, but oh well. And then you move it so he doesn't actually, he's not, so make him walk a little bit faster. So you'll see him walk in, and then he'll stop there. It's a little bit glitchy, but you can like play with it, and he does get a little bit smaller, but you can't size him anyway, because you've done the chroma, the key or thing, whatever it's called. So yeah, that's actually how I make him walk, and that is basically how I make my videos. I don't really do anything else that's too special. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it helped anyone who's stuck or wondering how I make my videos, because a lot of people have been asking. So I hope I helped you guys, and I hope you guys can make videos like me and get inspired by me. So yeah,